second one, the button's pressed. The folks can hear us now.
Okay. I should turn my fan on. Let me know if you can hear this. I'm going to turn my fan on.
I can't hear anything if it's on now.
Cool.
All right. Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to a podcast that has had a long-awaited return. We are here with TapCaf Transmissions, episode 152, I think. If I'm right on that, I'm going to be very happy. I am Corey, joined once again by the actual co-host of this podcast after, 2 months? Justin is here.
Yep.
Mr. Eckhart's Ladder, how are you doing? How's
Long
life?
have I waited to return to TapCaf.
Yeah, this feels a little contrived. Like, after we killed off Ilkin in the last episode, did we have to bring you back? Like, who knows?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm very busy. I had for those who don't follow my personal life, we had another kid, so I haven't been sleeping much. It's been 6 a.m. mornings every day, so I haven't had much time to work. And when I actually have been doing a lot of reading, but I can't bring myself to read. I can't bring myself to read Star Wars stuff. Like, I've got very little free time, so when I have it, I want to read something that's not work related.
I could almost hear you wanting to say good there. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm reading like Lord of the Rings, and like, listen, Star Wars is good, but it's not like book-wise. It's not Lord of the Rings. I'm reading Lord of the Rings. I've been reading the Hyperion series, which is pretty good. That's like very, it's different sci-fi, but it's, closer to Star Wars, and just lots of things on my back catalog or stuff for work. So it's been non-Star Wars books for work. That is, it's been fun.
Well, we all hope that you're doing well with your family and whatever that stuff is, but it's, can we really bring ourselves to care?
Not really, no.
People think that we're like friends outside the podcast or something. I haven't spoken to you literally since the last time we stopped recording the episode, so I really don't know what's going on in your life. And
I forgot what your face looked like.
sometimes I do too. It's forgettable.
That's true.
But you know what's not forgettable?
What?
Tonight's topic, which is going to be about Ahsoka episodes 1 and 2, a fresh new Star Wars show. Rebels season 5 is here. So we'll talk about a lot of that. I guess we'll probably get into whether you do need to have seen Rebels to really understand what's going on in Ahsoka. So we're not going to have a super long episode tonight. Hopefully we'll be able to do these episode recaps every week. Last week I was supposed to be doing an episode with Ilkin covering Cataclysm, the second High Republic book from this phase, but he's had a whole ordeal going on, so unfortunately that has been postponed. So hopefully we'll be able to get him back
almost,
on.
Isn't he?
Yeah, his leg has remained attached, and everything seems to be going well for him. But
wait, was there actually a chance of it being amputated?
I mean, there's always a chance of it being amputated. Like, I don't know if it'd be intentional.
I could get mine spontaneously amputated today.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever a worry, but it was.
Okay. Well, you said his leg is still attached. I was like, oh, I didn't know it was that bad.
Well, I was worried about it. I don't know what the medical opinion was at the time, but as soon as someone says like something's infected, I just jump straight to it's gone. Get rid of it.
Yeah, you're friends with Charlie without being perpetually stressed out.
And I constantly think Charlie should be gone and we should get rid of him, so it fits.
Fair enough.
Tell me I'm wrong. But yeah, so any other Star Wars news we should maybe cover before? There's not really going to be that much right now, I don't think. Actually, there's the Dark Forces remaster.
I was going to say, I've seen nobody talk about that, which I guess I understand because it's like a very light remaster. Like it's, they're not changing much. But yeah.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to give that a try when it comes out, because I think I played through the full Dark Forces a few months ago with the fan remaster, so I don't know if it's too soon for that for me, but I want to do the second one, and I haven't done that, so if they could remaster that at the same time, that'd be great. But one of the things...
I like the second one better. The second one's better, in my opinion, but... The most annoying thing about playing they're DOS games, right? So like the most annoying part about the old, like, they still play really well. They're Doom like games. Like, the most annoying thing about Dark Forces is getting it to run. So as long as that's better, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, that's like that's always the thing with a lot of the older Star Wars games. It's like if you ever want to
Mhm.
play Rebellion, it's impossible. Like
Yep.
I've streamed it twice. All I remember from playing it is the frustration of just pressing the start stream button, and getting back into the game. So yeah,
Same thing with TIE
terrible.
Fighter. It's like it's not meant for mice. Like it doesn't have mouse
Yeah.
support. You got to run it in like DOSBox or something. So it's yeah,
Yeah.
not
So
fun.
hopefully, if the first one goes well, maybe we'll get a second one. It's notably not being made by Aspire, so it's
Mm.
a new remaster slash port
Well,
that's
they
not
actually
by them.
showed footage like in the trailer. Did you see?
Of Aspire burning in the background or of the game.
No, of the Dark Forces remake
I
or
didn't.
remaster.
I haven't
It,
actually
it
watched it
looks
yet.
almost identical. So like it's gonna be like it's gonna be better resolution. She'll make like the textures and stuff look better, I assume, and
Yeah.
it'll run better. But other than that, like I wouldn't. It looks like there were some like new models, but I wouldn't expect too much, basically, which is
Like
fine. I'm cool with that.
I looked up the company when it was announced, and I watched like part of the I think it's Quake 2
Yeah,
remaster that they did,
yeah,
and it looked good. Like they were showing off lighting and stuff, and it looks like it'll if we get
yeah.
basically the
People
same thing
really,
here, that's
it's
good.
yeah. The company is Night Dive Studios. They did a System Shock one as well, and people really like them. But they're doing a little bit of remastering on the cutscenes as well. That's another kind of I guess like because the cutscenes are like they're like partially animated, but that'll look good. I remember you doing Dark Forces because I remember watching you do the Dark Trooper level, and you kept like
Yeah.
falling in. Yeah,
Well, the end fight in Dark Forces is like the easiest thing in the world. I beat it accidentally when the door
you got stuck
opened,
on.
and
Yeah,
yeah, it was.
you do be getting stuck on elevators sometimes.
That's the most dangerous thing in any game with Kyle Katarn. But
Oh yeah, totally.
one remaster I wish we could be playing right now is Knights of the Old Republic because there are a lot of KOTOR references in this little show called Ahsoka. So,
Hmm.
what are your thoughts so far on the first two episodes?
I actually really liked the first two episodes. Yeah, I was very excited when I watched them. Uh, I thought the music was great. It's the only show that's like, is it perfect? No. There are still times where I'm like reminded, okay, this is a TV show. Um, but I think out of the Marvel shows I've seen and the Star Wars shows, certainly that I've seen, it's the one that most feels like an actual Star Wars movie.
Mhm.
I I would say movie generally, but Andor, I mean, Andor's actually kind of got more of a TV show structure with like arcs, but it feels more like a space opera. You pointed out, and I think some other people did, that it's got the kind of reverse Phantom Menace opening. It's big. It's generally well made. So yeah, I'm I'm digging it so far.
Yeah, I think it's not my favorite of the like episode ones of anything, but or episode one or two premiere nights, whatever you want to call them. But I do think it feels like it feels solidly Star Wars with all the positives and negatives that implies.
Yeah.
Where like the you get a lot of prequel vibes from it. There's like I really do enjoy the inversion of the Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan
Hmm.
arriving on the Trade Federation ship thing that you kind of get with Shin and Balin. I think that sets them up as like bizarro Jedi rather than spending
Yeah,
too
I
much
like that.
time saying they're like because then the dialogue doesn't have to reinforce that these are Jedi that are not Jedi anymore. You can have all the dialogue saying like, "No, we're not Jedi anymore," while you're getting the kind of replaying of some of those things. But like, I think that does come with Dave Filoni and George Lucas not being dialogue masters.
Hmm.
So that feels kind of stilted. But I have enjoyed like the characters. I think the conflicts that they're setting up are interesting. Uh, so I'm excited for more of it. I think it's solidly upper half of my enjoyment of Star Wars shows so far.
Yeah, the kind of general idea for me is the most compelling bit. Where it lacks, you're right, like the masterful kind of execution that Andor had. Um, well, like and I said this before, like as much as I loved Andor, and I really did love it, especially the finale, I thought was just phenomenal. It didn't give me the kind of same giddy excitedness that like a Star Wars movie
Yeah.
did, or like even episodes of The Mandalorian did. Um, if this this definitely kind of gets there, especially like the way that the season's going.
Mhm.
It's very open ended. It's they've done a good job too of like, I'm not excited because of cameo. Like it feels like especially with Mando season 3 towards the end, like I was like not fully engaged. I was like waiting for the character, like a character to show up and
Yeah.
be excited because of that. But with this, like I know Thrawn's going to show up. I know Ezra's probably going to show up. I'm more excited about kind of how they're going to play into the story, not like, oh, is Luke Skywalker going to come and,
Yeah.
whatever.
I do have some hope that the dialogue will get better once we're past the point of like setting up the relationships and everything for people who didn't see Rebels, because I don't think you'd have to have seen Rebels to understand what's going on here. It's not like it's this
It's not
crazy
confusing.
complex thing.
No.
Yeah, like the story's relatively straightforward. You get the sense of like what Ahsoka and Sabine's relationship is, and like the biggest question marks in Ahsoka and Sabine's relationship nobody knows, because we don't have the context of what they did exactly in their time together before that has caused
Yeah.
all this tension for them. Well, like yeah, in Mando season 3, I think a lot of what was going on wasn't as engaging because like a lot of it kind of just jumped back and undercut itself. So it really
Mhm.
was just like, okay, if I'm going to enjoy this, a lot of it's going to come from the immediate action, or is something neat going to happen lore wise? Because I can at least appreciate that in some sense.
Yeah.
But like we even talked about, we both loved Andor, but I think we both were agreeing on those early episode reviews that they really did need to have those first 3 episodes releasing together, because it does take
Yeah.
a bit longer to grab you. Whereas this, we have like a lot more action. We have more lightsaber fights than we've really seen since the prequels. So I think it works out on that level.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying too about the show being not being confusing, because it's not. Like you can watch this and you won't be lost. I think and I'm happy that they're doing this as well, because it would have been very easy to make the more generalized version of this where they introduce a new character to drive the story or something. Um, but like I think if you're a new fan, the thing that they're really not doing is making you care about the characters. Like, why do I care about Ezra?
Mhm.
Like, you don't realize if you haven't watched Rebels that Hera is kind of like almost like Ezra's adoptive mother in a way, and Sabine,
Yeah.
sister, lover, whatever. I think he was being a little coy with what he said,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I've seen so many people say this is the death of Ezra and
people are
Sabine.
so dumb.
And it's like, have you never seen Star Wars before? If anything, him calling her his sister just means that they're definitely going to make out.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know. It's like when you watch Rebels, people are like, oh, "How did you still see that? That plot thread disappeared in season." Like, what do you mean it disappeared in season 1? Like Ezra clearly has feelings for her the entire show, in my opinion.
Yeah, he just stops being a creepy little weirdo about it.
I wouldn't say he's creepy.
In the first few seasons, he is a bit incel-y.
You think?
He's a bit of a pest towards her over it, and then he stops doing that.
He's like 14 though.
Yeah,
like
no,
15.
I'm not saying he should be canceled or something over it. Even though what his actor said on Twitter a few days ago was a little sus, but
The blackface though, got to get him for that. Oh yeah, let me read this tweet. I saved it because it was so funny.
So this is Ezra's actor on Twitter a few days ago yesterday talking about the show, and I only saw it because you quote tweeted it. But
He says there's really nothing that can replace seeing those things swang in all their glory, huh? As a fan, I'm up right now, crying emoji. If you know, you know, I emoji. I don't know if
I think he's talking about lightsabers, but
okay, I thought he was talking about Ahsoka's new what are they fucking what are her things called again? On her head tails.
for Montrals.
Yeah, Montrals.
There's the Montrals and Leku all over the place in this show.
Yeah,
maybe that is what he meant. I thought he meant lightsaber
fights.
Like
it's about big titties, right? Like, right? Like, what's that? Like,
I mean, I'm up right now. It doesn't really leave much to the imagination, so Something's going on.
You know that four-breasted alien from Jabba's palace, or maybe she's like, maybe she's got six. You know her?
Yeah.
If I quote tweet his tweet with a picture of her, Yarna Del Gargan, will I be canceled? Is that?
I don't think so. Done
Okay.
worse.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now.
But yeah, like I don't see that as the end of a possible Ezra Sabine relationship. Like she's clearly more into him now than she would have been in the
Dude,
early
she's
parts of the
crashing at his
show.
house. Like,
Yeah, she's living at his house. She's trying to become a Jedi because he's gone. And
yeah,
she's not doing well. I think it might even be a little too much simping for Ezra on her behalf. But
yeah. Ezra's like not gonna be interested anymore. It's like
yeah,
too
like
easy now.
what if Ezra and Thrawn are like shacking up now?
I actually really like Sabine. I thought they did a good job with her. I don't mind at all that she took the first two episodes kind of the spotlight, and I think it makes sense because she's the one who's been most affected by
Yeah.
Ezra being gone, clearly. And like I really I thought that the character I thought they did great with her, perfect. My favorite moment was when, and this is a very small moment, when she's attacked by those HK droids and she runs inside to get a weapon. And there's like the shot several times the first episode where they look under the table and her armor is like back against the wall, and in front of it's the chest with Ezra's lightsaber. And it's like every time she's clearly ignored her armor, she gets the lightsaber, and like that's kind of representative of how, like, listen, she's not being honest with herself. Hu Yang basically fucking humbles her. He's like, listen, I've seen a 100 bajillion Jedi, and like you fucking suck. Like you're awful. So like you've got no business basically going for the lightsaber first. What do you might as well say? I just really like that scene where she goes and she just totally fucking ignores her armor, gets the lightsaber, then she comes back and she's like, hey, like yeah, I can learn from her, but like I gotta be honest with myself.
I don't know that was what Hu Yang's point was. I think it was more like you don't have the aptitude, but if you put the work in, then that's the important part. Like,
no, I sorry, no, go ahead.
I think he's still saying like you can be a Jedi, but you also do have to put forward some sort of effort rather than just being frustrated that things aren't working out right now.
Maybe I can definitely see that based on what he said. For me, I kind of got the feeling that he was saying worry less about the label and worry more about training. Like I don't think she's ever going to be a Jedi, and I think that was kind of a wake up. Like she got her ass kicked by a Padawan, basically.
But he was the one that was really telling her, or like trying to tell both Sabine and Ahsoka, like you guys need to train together again. Like you need to be her apprentice. So I do think the Jedi label is important to him because like all the regulations are so important to him. But
no, I agree. But it's like he's saying they need to train together. But like I think you could do that and just train together. Like I think that you can train as like I think that's why she puts the Mandalorian armor on, because yeah, she's her apprentice, but it's not like, you know, as it was. For one, Ahsoka doesn't even label herself as a Jedi.
If anyone who's trying to spread leaks in the chat, I'm going to hide you if you do that again.
Yeah. Piss off. But yeah, I don't know. I see where you're coming from. I don't think that Sabine. I think a Sabine, like how I read it was Sabine comes to terms with the fact that she's probably not going to become a Jedi. Again, this is just my reading, and that trying to become one is going to end up being frustrating for everybody, for Sabine and her master. That doesn't mean that she can't still train, though. That she can't still be an apprentice. She's just going to be something different.
But it did seem like her denying the Jedi training and label is what he was annoyed by with her. That she was still supposed to go, then it doesn't matter that she doesn't have the most aptitude for the Force.
I think she was annoyed by... I think he was more annoyed by her not training it at all. Like her just completely giving up.
Yeah, but that's part of it.
Yeah, but I don't think he wanted her to train to become a Jedi. Maybe we're picking hairs, but...
I think he does. Like, I think that's all Hu Yang's programming really cares about, because they've hammered on so much of like he is that by the book character, and he cares so much about the order regulations. He doesn't care that Sabine isn't going to be a powerful Jedi, but he still wants her to work at becoming a Jedi. And he thinks the mistake she's making is that she
Mm.
hasn't been doing that.
Yeah, I still think the mistake I still think the mistake he's harping on is her just not training at all. Like I think he's probably become a little more pragmatic after
Maybe.
the but you're right, there is that scene at the beginning of episode 1 where he's like, "Hey, this is the Jedi code says hang out in space." But
Yeah, and Ahsoka said, actually, the Jedi Code's terrible. I tortured someone for this.
yeah. Yeah. It kind of just went over that bit. But yeah, so I guess we'll see. My prediction is she might even continue using the lightsaber. I think she'll train, but I don't think being a Jedi. Maybe it's just splitting hairs, because if she uses Jedi ethics and uses a lightsaber but can't really make things float, I guess she can still be a Jedi.
Like, she's clearly trying to use the Force in the trailer. Like,
Which scene?
in the scene where Ahsoka's fighting Merrick and Shin and Sabine are fighting, and Sabine gets knocked down and she puts her hand out, like she's trying to force push. And if she wasn't, then Shin wouldn't say right after, "You have no powers."
Hmm.
And like maybe the story is she has no powers, but that's okay, or maybe the story is the Force is in everyone, and by applying herself the right way, by training the right way, then it's something she'd be able to access in some small way when she needs to. But I can see that going either way, but I don't think it's going to be like a complete rejection of the Jedi label.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I just don't think Jedi wear Mandalorian armor.
Some do. Grogu's gonna, Sabine's gonna, Our Vizsla did.
Darth Vader was a bitch.
I do think that was the message of Rebels. The future
right.
of the Jedi is apparently purely Mandalorian. It's going to be Rey surrounded by Mandalorians and John Boyega. But
Yeah, and John Boyega.
but yeah, what do you think? Do you think that the ancient civilization that is leaving the map behind?
Night Sisters.
You think it's the Night Sisters? You're not believing
I
Rakata?
think. Oh no, I definitely think it's not Rakata. I think it's whoever. I think whatever species it was became the Night Sisters.
I
Anyway.
felt like there was more of a differentiation that Morgan was putting on between the Night Sisters, which she was talking about as herself with the city, and then ancient civilization. So I feel like they follow it in some way, but I don't think it's the same thing.
I think that makes sense. For me, it was just the fact that her, like, she's so familiar with it and her magic does it. Like,
Yeah.
my theory is that Night Sister magic is forced from this other galaxy. I think we're gonna see other magic wielders, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
So I'm gonna throw something at you here.
Okay.
Poor enjoyer that you are. This is something I was unaware of until someone pointed out in the comments, but I looked into it. It checks out. Cetos planet. Terrible name, right? We can all agree on that. The one that the map's on with their Morgan, Balin, and Shin are there.
Yeah.
That is in the Denab system.
Mm-hmm.
The Nab system also has the planet Denab, which is a planet in Tor, which has a Rakatan device on it.
Fair enough.
I think that's all it takes.
I mean, I think that's fair. Like they've been very willing to pull from. They've didn't they have Belkadan and was that Belkadan they mentioned Andor, and they had
the Rakatans in Andor as well.
Yeah, Mando's been dropping lots of Legends planets, so possible. It's possible.
Because like the Night Sisters, they have so many ties to like a bunch of ancient civilizations now. Whereas like the Zepho are on Dathomir at different points, and but I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked either way. Like I could definitely see it being the Night Sisters, but I just feel like everything is so borrowing from the star map aesthetic from KOTOR, and with like so many references to Rakatan stuff otherwise, that it.
I would like it. Yeah, she says an ancient people from a distant galaxy, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, I guess part of it was just that her magic seems to operate it. I do love Shin during that scene. I really like Shin does lots of funny little things. Like she's always looking at Balin like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
I can't figure out quite what's going on with her. Like if she's looking at him with like reverence and like looking for his
Okay.
reaction, or if she's disagrees with him.
Once again, please do not post leaks in the chat. Sorry.
Listen, guys, get it together. Is this called, hey, we read from Reddit? Or is it called, let's speculate on Star Wars?
Disappointed. That's the only word I have for it. Yeah, I do like that Shin. I kind of wondered like where the fuck Shin came from. Like
Shin's is related to him.
I don't know, but like
they could be father and daughter.
He got the white hair for both of them. It's probably just because Ray Stevenson was old, but
he's so sexy.
Not old enough.
Yeah, he's so sexy.
I don't think the screener had like the for our friend Ray thing at the end of the first episode. So I was a little.
I think it did.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Then. Yeah, it did. Because I saw somebody tweet it. Some fucking. I talk about this every time. If you get a screener, don't tweet fucking little coy things to say, "Hey, I know more than you do." Like that drives me crazy every time. Like somebody tweeted something. Now, to be fair, this might have been they might have been somebody who saw the episode in person. But they were like, my takeaway from Mando season or from Ahsoka season 1, and they were like knights, or they're like witches, cauldrons, and something. And I was just like, and senators. And it's like everyone knows what you mean.
Yeah, it's sure. Like I posted the exact line by line breakdown of each episode, but like there's a line, people. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
There's two things that have pissed me off on Twitter since the screener's better. One of them's that, and another is gimmick accounts that are in no way trying to mimic the character they're a gimmick of.
Bro, that's just driving me crazy. That Chopper account, let's just say it like it is.
I don't want to be mean, but like
9,000 followers, and his pinned tweet is Chopper, the best droid in the galaxy. That's it. That's the tweet. Chopper would never say that.
Yeah. They had one tweet that was maybe in character as Chopper, but like, come on, just better. Yeah. Okay, so we've. Is there any specific plot points from episode 1 that we haven't really talked about that you want to go over? Because I feel like we've kind of talked about the relationships and stuff, and it was kind of just the introduction of everyone.
We didn't talk
seems
about.
To be doing well.
Yeah, Lothal. I really like those sequences. Senator Jai Kel, quite a promotion.
Yeah.
Also, I was right about Clancy Brown, and I did not look at spoilers because we had a little prediction thing going. I did not look at spoilers before I said that.
Should we maybe give our quick rundown of what those predictions were? Because that was on like a Mario Kart stream, but I think the prediction should stand for Tapcaf posterity. Because you did, I think I did like a major and minor, or like safe and wild guess for a cameo. Yeah. You guessed Ryder Zodi as your one, and I think you said Pelion as well for your other one. Or no?
Yeah. I think Pelion was my other one. Yeah.
Who was your wild and crazy one? I forget. You said.
God, I don't remember now.
Maybe we can just do new ones for that, because my kind of safe-ish one was Rex.
Yeah, Rex is definitely going to be that, I think. Well,
what was
maybe not actually, because he's going to be pretty old.
Yeah, but I just feel like if there's anyone in that category where it's not like a wild pull, like Luke showing up in The Mandalorian season 2, like I think Rex is one that's more on the Boba Fett shows up in The Mandalorian level.
Yeah. So I don't get to keep Ryder then.
No, like that's a perfectly fine, safe one. You were right on that one. That's like my Rex tier prediction. But do you have anything that's like major for either a big reference to them or them showing up, like a big character drop?
Yeah.
Basically meaning someone who
like
hasn't
Mon
been
Mothma
in...
would have been a good one probably if she wasn't in the trailer. Or is she too obvious?
I think she's a bit more in that category of like Rebels or recent live action characters that aren't
Hmm. Can I say Han Solo?
That I think would be a big one. I think that's
Okay.
fair. Because I
Yeah.
think Han would show up in like I think Han and original trilogy trio show up as like recast for the other two in the Filoni movie. So them showing up here would definitely be.
Yeah. I saw Sam Witwer was credited.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's doing voices. I
Unless
don't
he's doing droid
know.
voices or something.
Yeah,
I didn't
but
hear him. I hear my buddy Sam everywhere.
frequent squadrons guest Sam Witwer.
I'd say he was frequent, right? It must have been at least
It was
10, 15 streams.
It was two, maybe one.
Oh no, I used to stream with him all the time on Twitter, on Twitch. I mean,
You played with him a couple times. I don't know that you streamed with him that often, but because there was one or two that I wasn't on that he was there at, and then there was one or two that I was on that he was at. But anyways,
I used to play with just I guess that's fair.
brag about it more because you played offline with him a lot more though.
Yeah. I guess I thought we streamed that more than we did.
But maybe this doesn't count, but like after seeing the first two episodes, I would not be shocked by at least a Revan name drop in the show. Is that too broad of a guess? Like someone mentioning Revan? Because he's not. I don't think he's going to show up.
No, I don't think that's too broad.
It has to be more direct than like claiming the Eye of Sion as Darth Sion.
So, do you think it's a reference? The Eye of Sion is meant to be the same Sion. The Sion's eye is fucked up. So
yeah, that's true. And it is a very simpy show. So having the simpiest Sith Lord would, I guess, Vader is kind of the simpiest. But I think it is probably like I've been thinking about it. I said no at first. I think it probably is a reference to him, but I also don't think. Like, it seems like people have been referring to the thing they're building as the Eye of Sion, but
that's what I thought it was.
She says the Eye of Sion is coming, I think, or is approaching.
But she said the Eye of Sion is almost complete as well. I believe. I think she said so. Maybe it's that
was
just pull
all the second episode, right?
Yeah, I'm pulling it right up now. Yeah, so the last scene, which I thought was very interesting. We know Thrawn is going to be back because we see him on the bridge of the ship. Installation of the final hyperdrive has begun.
The Eye of Sion is on its way
of...
here. Make sure that everything is ready for its arrival.
Then she says, soon the Eye of Sion will be complete in the last scene.
But wasn't that on the same scene where it was on its way here, but they were going there or they were already there?
This is when they're on the bridge and she's talking to them on the hologram.
Yeah. So it's got to be something else then. I don't think it can be the thing that she's on if she was saying it's on its way there.
Wait, where does she say that? It's on its way
there?
So
the scene... Oh, so the pathway to the perineum. Some call it that. The children of the Jedi Temple call it that.
I hope they're not...
It comes from old stories fair. So this is the scene when they're on Cetos, actually.
So maybe the ship is going there for some... Maybe that's the jump point. Yeah.
Yeah, because Thrawn calls to me across time and space. You speak of dreams, vague and fractured hopes. A thread of fate do not lie. Energetic, vibrating ends. The Eye of Sion is on its way here. Make sure that everything is ready for its arrival. Merrick will complete his task. Okay, so yeah, I guess that makes sense. That probably is the thing. They moved the installation, the hyperspace ring.
Yeah. I'm listening to the audio description. The audio description will give you lots of details.
The Inquisitor, which is Barriss Offee with a mask on, moved.
They just call it a massive ring. Do you think it's a hyperdrive ring? Like, are they going to put it around like a cock ring around the fucking Thrawn Star Destroyer?
It seems like it is, because if that is what it's talking about, and then they're talking about whether Merrick's going to complete his task at that point, because I thought that scene was at the end, but like that's before he goes and gets the other hyperdrive.
Yeah, the Super
So
Star
his
Destroyer
task is getting the hyperdrive for that. So I guess that would make sense.
So, are they taking Thrawn's ship back with him? Is what I mean. Like, is it like, because it's funny. There's actually a scene in the trailer where you can see Ahsoka flying towards it, and I thought she was flying towards a ship, like a starfighter's hyperdrive
Yeah.
ring, but it was just this thing way off in the distance. So I'm wondering whether it's literally going to wrap around Thrawn's Star Destroyer and bring him home.
Yeah, that seems like that's how they have to get there and back, is just a bunch of super strong hyperdrives to get there. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, she says that Thrawn is communicating with her in her mind. Thrawn's not the most force powerful himself. Like, is this a thing that Ezra's facilitating, or that
That's
Thrawn has found
interesting.
some other way to do, or is someone fucking with her?
I like the idea of it being Ezra. Like she thinks she's doing Thrawn a favor when it's really him. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's
Because
interesting.
like, the thing is, if it's Ezra, then why couldn't he contact Sabine the same way, or Ahsoka? And like, maybe this is what they had in mind, where like he needs Sabine to come because Sabine's the one that could pull him back from him thinking he's going to go to the dark side if he's stuck out there with Thrawn doing God knows what for 6 years.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure.
like, that's one of the reasons I
hadn't thought
don't
of
think he
that.
can be in the Inquisitor suit. Because like,
No,
if
he's
Ezra
definitely
got
not.
there, then what do they need to go get Thrawn for? Just get him back the way
He's
he
not
got there.
there. The Star Wars Datapad entry says he's was an Inquisitor since the Galactic Civil War.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not him in the suit. I don't think it. I thought it was going to be important. Now I think he's just a dog. Like I don't think it really
Yeah.
matters who's in it. I thought he was going to, but like he was clearly outmatched by Ahsoka. And he
Yeah.
ran away.
He seems like he's there to be a red shirt.
Yeah, I like that scene where I was like, ugh, like they forgot he threw his lightsaber. Like that's a directing mistake, and then it comes back and she's just like, whoop. So yeah.
That was good. I think they've handled the action really well. Like, the lightsaber fights were only in the first 2 episodes. There's going to be some, we've seen in the trailer, there's going to be some bigger ones coming, and I think
Yeah.
that all the ones we've seen have been pretty good.
The Balin Ahsoka one looks really good. That's the one that I'm most excited for because they've got such different fighting styles. Where he's like big and heavy, and she's jumping off things. And I actually think that might be episode 3. I think the show's moving a little faster than I predicted.
Yeah, like, I thought a lot of the stuff we'd seen would be later in the show, but they got a lot of those a lot of those scenes from the trailer kind of out of the way early.
Yeah.
And like, I thought it'd be like late in the series that you go to that planet at all, and we're there episode 1, really.
Well, yeah, and they know where that. Do they know CTOS now? Does Ahsoka? Do they? They're headed there now, aren't they? So, or am I mistaken there?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm trying to, because when they analyze, when I forget, when Sabine analyzes that droid's memory, what does she find again?
That's when they go to Corellia.
Oh, right, that's when they go to Corellia. They go to Corellia. Oh, but they put a tracker on the thing, so they're gonna be able to follow it.
Yeah. So they should be able to follow Shin.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like
Cool.
they're not just gonna have Balin and Shin hanging out on the same planet for like 4 more episodes and having to fight after that. It's like, we might be
I
getting
think
to.
that's where Ahsoka and Sabine are headed right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So like,
where
that
else would
might
they
just be in
go?
episode
So that
3.
might just be episode 3, and then they could be gone. And then they might be gone. Like they could be gone completely for a while, and then it's just like the good guys in the galaxy trying to figure out what's up, and maybe that's how they meet the Purgle, or who knows. But yeah, I still don't think Thrawn's going to be back until the end, but
I still don't think he's going to play a huge role in the show.
that's what I mean. Yeah, I don't think he's going to really. I think the finale will kind of be him finding his way back home. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that scene of him in the bridge is one of the final ones that we saw in the trailer, because that's on the Eye of Sion, if that is the name of the ship.
Yeah, like, that's the same room that she's in, and the concept art shows him surrounded by the same droids that she's got.
Mm-hmm. The droids have looked great in this show, by the way.
Yeah,
especially Hu Yang. I don't know. I don't know how they did him, but he's really impressive looking.
They just built an actual droid. They've put
they have before.
David Tennant's brain in there.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick. Let's go.
I'm not sure his family would appreciate that.
Not my problem. They get him out. It's the actor strike. They can get him out.
Wow. They just been trying to sabotage them since then?
Yep.
There's got to be that's your agent made a mistake with your contract if that's happening.
That's one thing. That's what the producers are using to try to get back at the writers. They're like, listen, we're taking David out, and we tossed his body, so get it done.
So I did like the. This is kind of something that the uh, both Ahsoka and the Mandalorian have done, where they've addressed a bit of like how could the First Order or how could the Empire cause the
Mhm.
giant New Republic to fall? And it's like we're seeing in action just little microcosms of the problems that you have reestablishing
Yeah,
a government like that, where like you can look at a map and you can see the New Republic has the entire galaxy, but if you have all the people working in these institutions that are still either loyal to the Empire or like it's just too hard for the New Republic to properly establish everything, if they're too afraid of centralizing themselves because of fears people would have of having a strong central government, then it's really easy to just poke that down. And I think that's something that people were starting to kind of think about in the real world when the sequels were coming out, and you got more of that becoming real world issues uh, over the period that they were releasing. But I think now the writers probably have a much more solid idea of how that works and the messaging they're trying to go with for it. So that's neat.
yeah. I like that as well. And that's kind of something in the Thrawn trilogy too, where it's like, yeah, you can be in the Imperial Palace, but it's still the Imperial Palace. Like it's full of bugs and shit, and trees that can send messages to each other. Uh, so yeah, I'm glad they're bringing that back. I think that's a cool idea.
So, is there any other major plot
Mm.
stuff you want to talk about? Or just
Like,
production stuff?
I liked Home One.
Home One stuff.
More inconsistent sizing because the Ghost easily fits inside one of its hangars, and the Ghost is like 50 meters wide, and the hangar's like the Ghost takes up like a third of the hangar bay. Um, but also that New Republic frigate is everywhere. There's like six
Yeah.
being built on Corellia.
Have they given a name for that anywhere yet?
No, I don't. I don't think so.
Yeah, because
It's got guns though.
that's good.
Yeah.
It is good that they have guns.
You can see it's got like a bunch of cannons on it.
Yeah. So how did they lose a war if they've got a ship with guns on it?
Must have been in that fleet by Hosnian Prime, I guess.
I feel like we've kind of gotten the peak of new ships for the show. I don't think there's going to be too many new New Republic ships to look at.
No, but there are at least I think three other fighter classes because Shin's got a fighter. There's like little pirate-looking fighters. I think there's one more. I'm guessing the E-wing will make another appearance. I mean, I'm kind of like this is kind of hopium, but like, are they really going to make an E-wing model just for it to be traffic cops and cast those actors? I don't know. Hopefully not.
Are they going to make a Zeb CGI model just for him to show up and have a conversation with Trapper Wolf?
Very true.
Maybe Zeb doesn't even show up in this. That'd be, that'd
I mean,
surprise me more than any other character showing up, as if Zeb doesn't show up.
yeah, that would be really weird. Although if there's going to be a season 2, maybe not, I guess, but that would be weird.
The first 3 episodes get us to the other galaxy. You find Thrawn and Ezra, and then episodes 4, 5, and 6 are just like rebels.
Zeb and
like,
Cal is kissing.
yes, well, there's that gets involved, but like Ezra was really Zeb gets the top bunk again for now, and so we get the final 3 episodes are just the Ghost crew back together, raising Jason as a family as they do like weapon runs for Hondo.
And what oh, fuck? What's that guy's name again? The first like gangster they're working for on Lothal. Is it the V?
Vizago?
Isn't it? Yeah, Vizago. Yeah, I don't remember if he died or not, but that'd be kind of a left turn.
Yeah, I just remember them buying the weapons from him or selling the weapons to him, but
yeah. I'm kind of curious to see what other little Rebels characters Dave works in. There's gonna be more for sure.
Hondo has been waiting for a live action debut forever.
Yeah, and he'd look good as well. Like he looks good at Galaxy's Edge. So
Like as soon as they know who or they know they're about to go get Ezra, Sabine will know like the only way they're really getting him home if they bring Hondo. So
yeah.
what did you think of Ahsoka herself? Because
Um, I definitely understand the complaints about her being a little wooden. To me, that felt kind of in line with how she was in Star Wars Rebels, so I wasn't really bothered by it. But
mhm,
I understand why some are. What I want to see is how she deals with, like, because having the stoic persona is fine, but she's got to finally break at some point.
yeah, I agree.
Um, so like if there's all the rumors of her doing a flashback scene with Anakin, and I mean, given that Anakin was in the trailer, I think like we said he couldn't be one of the prediction characters because he seemed obvious that he was going to be in the show in some form, whether it's ghost or flashback. So I want to see how she handles that.
Yeah, yeah, because like I think that's part of why Sabine had such a big amount of the screen time and carrying the emotional weight of the show. Because like Ahsoka is just there to be kind of stoic and a bit dark right now.
Mm.
But yeah, like these are like full grown women at this point. They need to stop acting like children. For Sabine, that means getting angry all the time.
That is very
For
Sabine, though.
yeah, it's hard to say like whether her or Ahsoka is being more immature, but like Ahsoka's like 50, and both of them, like Hera has a child to raise. She can't be always babysitting these two's relationship. So
Yeah, Hera. I wish she looked older. That's kind of my main issue. I wish she looked a little older. The contacts are silly. I don't get the contacts. Like how those
I don't
they're
like
not
them in like
awful.
still images, but when everyone's actually moving, I think it's fine. Like I don't have a problem
Yeah,
with them.
I think my favorite scene of the show was them chasing down that the hyperdrive over Corellia. I thought that was
Yeah.
really well done.
Yeah, I
So
hope we get more Hera, but I feel like we're gonna get less. Though I don't know, we've seen a bunch of other scenes in the trailers that do have her, so there's at least got to be something. But I just kind of I'm afraid it's gonna be like the last episode they get back or something, and then Hera gets scenes there rather than having more Hera all the time, which is kind of what I'd hope for.
Chopper's actor got caught saying slurs, so they had to cut all the scenes.
That's that's what the gimmick account should be doing. It's in character.
Yeah, just very very rude.
All right. Well, where do you think this is currently ranking in your? If you were to just think of like all the live action shows, episodes 1 and 2, or just premiere nights, where's this kind of fallen for you?
Hmm. So Mando season 2 had one episode premiere. It was a good episode. Oh wait, Mando season 2. Yeah, the Mando season 2 episode was the Crate Dragon one, right?
Yeah,
That was
that
that
had
was an amazing
Bob
episode.
Vance.
Yeah,
We
that was
got
a great episode.
the
That
yeah
was like a 10 out of 10 premiere episode for me. Uh I think if Mando season 1 hadn't had Baby Yoda, this would be ahead of it, but the Baby Yoda thing was just so compelling and I really liked the overall direction. So I think I would go, it's hard cuz like 3 episodes. So Andor was 3 episodes, was it? Did it premiere
yeah
with 3 episodes? Or did it just premiere with 1?
it yeah I guess no I think it had the 3 episode no
Cuz like I really like that um yeah, it was the 3 episodes. All 3. September 21st, 2022. God, less than a year ago. I don't know. I honestly can't decide because they're so different.
that's
Um
fair. You can just say that.
I guess I would go Mando 2, Mando 1, and then branches of this and and I think my bottom would be Kenobi. No, maybe Mando. I don't know. Fuck, I don't. I gotta rewatch them all. I don't know.
Fair enough. I
What
don't
about
think I
you?
have a solid opinion either. Like I think this is up there for me. Like the show that I like the most, I don't think the premiere of Andor grabbed me as much. And I don't know that I was as excited to get to the next parts of Andor compared to how I feel about this, even though I do think Andor will still go.
I totally agree. I just thought the last 5 minutes of that Andor episode 3 was just so phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like the bombing was just so good that
I mean, like maybe unfairly, I'm holding it a bit more against Andor that it was 3 episodes, so it had more. Like I'm grading on a curve as far as that goes, though. So like episode 3 was fantastic, but episode 1 and 2 is like kind of like, okay, I'm enjoying this, but I wasn't quite grabbed yet. Especially with like the flashbacks that didn't really seem to go as many places. But Boba Fett, I barely remember the first episodes. Kenobi, I enjoyed, but I don't think I liked it as much as this.
Yeah.
I think Mando season 2 premiere, it's hard to beat that. I think that is the best premiere we've had.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I've probably watched this one the most, though. I'd say.
Yeah.
I've already watched this one a bunch of times.
So this is like solidly top third for me, I'd say.
Yep.
All right. I think that is going to do it for our allegedly short, but same length as usual, TapCap episode for this week. We're going to try to do these episode reviews as often as we can with your schedule, which should be able to. And I don't think we're going to be able to work in any books together for a little while,
for a bit.
But I'm going to try to do some other book review episodes, like get Ilkin in for the one that he was going to do, and then maybe I'll do 1 or 2 other ones with people if they're available.
If Ilkin can stop fucking with insects.
Yeah, that's just disgusting. But yeah, so we'll be back, and maybe we'll be able to take some questions next time as well. Thank you all for watching. We're going to be doing some streaming on a special new game tonight. It's going to be fantastic.
Do I have to buy the? Can I just buy the basic one for that? Like, do I need to buy any of?
I think you should be able to buy the basic one.
Okay, cool. That's what I did. So
more expensive than I want it to be, but
yeah, right. I thought it might be free to play.
Yeah, I thought Zach said it was. So
Classic
I don't
Zach.
know.
Classic Zach Blunder.
Yeah, right? That's going to be on twitch.tv/CoreyLoses as well as youtube.com/ECKSTOO. Until then, keep in mind,